Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Will It Live Again. Today we're going to take a few minutes and answer a question that I hear a lot on the groups that I'm part of for restoring Coleman stoves and stuff like that. And I'm going to flip the phone around here. We'll get started. This is not going to be a long video, but it's something that I hear the question a lot, and I have a solution for it that I do on every stove that I've ever taken apart and put back together. And so I'll whip this around and we'll start talking about it. All right, so here I've got a lid for an old 426 no-letter 3-burner Coleman stove, the original 426 that they made. And this is just typical of almost every Coleman stove that I've worked on and some of the others. I hear a lot of times guys asking, hey, where can I get new rivets for holding these brackets and other similar things on to these stoves, because I want to take the wind wing off and clean it up and put it back in. I want to do a restoration on this lid, but I can't do it with that in place. And so I'm going to drill the rivets out. I need a new rivet to put back in there. Well, I'm assuming they're available. I don't know. I haven't seen them. And two things. I'm cheap. I don't want to spend the money on it. Plus, I found a way to do it that seems to work perfectly for me, and it doesn't cost me a dime in the process. So I'm going to set the camera up here and show you what I do. It might be helpful to you. Maybe you still think you need to drill the rivets out, put new ones in. I'm okay with that. It's your stove. But I'm going to show you what I do here. So that I don't have to go to the trouble of getting new rivets for those. Let me get the camera set up on a tripod and we'll try to get close enough pictures where you can actually see what we're doing. Okay, we're back. So, this is actually pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to bend the loop part of that hinge back out of the way just enough to get this out of it. So I got a couple of different approaches I can take to it here. I've got this pair of pliers here that you'll use for grabbing like a nail and pulling it out or something like that. Not everybody has one of these. They're not as common as a lot of tools, but I'll show you another way to do it. So you get a hold of this thing there and just gently grab it and bend it up just enough to where now your wing is loose and is going to be able to slide out of there like that. See what I'm talking about? So let's assume that you don't have those pliers. You could also do it with, where are we here? A small screwdriver like this one. Okay, you do it by getting underneath there. You really don't want to open the loop up this way. You want to roll it back. So I don't want to be under it there any more than I have to. What I want to do is get up here where I can get that started rolling. And I may have to go up just a little bit just to get under it. You don't want to pry too much against the lid itself because your screwdriver can actually make a dent in there. And what my real point is here, that there's more than one way to skin this cat. Once you get it up to a certain point like that, it might be just as easy then to get a bigger screwdriver under there and just lightly pull it up. And now you'll see, let's get the camera down here a little bit closer. You'll see that what I'm doing is actually deformed that little bracket just a little bit. And now it's got a bow in it that goes like this. But I'm going to show you how to get that out of there once you go about getting ready to put these things back on. So now I've got that loose enough that I can grab my wind wing, slide it over like that, and bingo, it pops right out. And now I've got them to where you see this one's got a dent going along the edge of it there. So I'm going to get that pounded out before I get the paint taken care of on it. So I will come back when I'm ready to put these things back together and show you my trick, which folds those back down then and saves you all of that trouble. You might say, yeah, but they're still in the way. I can't paint around them. Well, if you will mask that clip off when you do your paint job, you'll never see where it was once you get the paint all finished on it. It'll look just like it does there. Well, what if these clips are rusty? well, that presents a whole different problem. And at that point, you might need to figure out how to take them apart and find you some rivets. But I found that I can do a pretty good job even of cleaning up a rusty clip there if I have to. Fortunately on this one, these are in pretty nice shape, so it makes a good example for what I'm trying to show you here on what we're doing. Okay, it's going to be a little bit before I get to that. On the video, you won't notice that, but I'll come back and show you how we put that back together once I get these things painted up and ready to go. All right, let's just throw in a little clip here of how I mask these off. It's really not rocket science. Just lay a piece of tape over there and take a utility knife blade or razor blade, cut out around it, and remove the excess stuff on that side. Pretty simple. On the front side, again, lay a piece of tape over that rivet, press it around with your fingernail, and then cut it around it. You got that, and bingo, you're ready to go. Now you can paint the thing. Yeah. All right, finally got everything painted up here and ready to go back together. I've had the lid painted now for quite a while. Just got my wind wings finally painted up this week, so we're ready to put this thing back together. First thing we got to do here, let's get our masking tape off of the parts that we covered up to protect them. Yeah, looks nice and clean, just like it did before we started, right? All right, all right. With those two uncovered, I'm going to flip it over here because this is actually, you can't even tell it right now, but there's actually tape on these rivets that we put on there in that last segment of the video. When you get that tape peels off though, and it leaves you a nice unpainted rivet there. Now if your rivets, these are actually brass, so they won't be rusty, but some of the newer rivets may be steel and might have gotten rusty. But you can clean them up before you mask everything off so that you've got a nice, good finish on there that looks like it's supposed to. All right, we'll get this back in place. Now, this is where we get into the trick of how you can do this without having to take those rivets out. So, make sure we got it where you can see here. Right there. All right. What I got to do, get my new wind wing on here, but I need to protect all the fresh paint, so I'm going to put this in here. Then get your wind wing slipped back under the brackets like that. And now I need something underneath each of these rivets. And this is a body dolly that I have. It's obviously steel, cast iron, something. You could use a block of wood, but it needs to be hardwood because pine or something just won't be enough of a backer. And I'm going to put this paper towel on there to protect the paint from getting scratched. Then I'm going to stick that underneath the rivet that I'm working on so that it's got a solid backer right there. So right now I'm focused on this one. Then this is the trick right here. If I take a deep well socket like that, it gives me something to hammer on if I actually remember to bring a hammer with me. So I better get that. There we go. Okay. So when I put this socket around that rivet, what it's going to do is flatten the bracket back out, and that's going to lay it back down onto there. So now, if you don't have a deep socket, because not everybody does, you could also use a standard socket like this with an extension on it. It will actually work the same way. what you're doing is using the socket to spread the force of the blowout around the rivet. So I've got that now to where it's flattening out. And you notice I'm starting out hammering at this angle, but as I'm getting there, I'm rotating it up here so I can get the back edge of the bracket flattened out, because that's where the bulk of my bend was. So I want to make sure that I'm there. And that's got, you just want to go back until that bracket looks factory. And it looks like we've got it. I'm also, another thing I'm going to suggest, at this point I can take a bigger socket, and that spreads out that blow even more, and we'll get the bracket even flatter. So let's move it now over to the other rivet. Too many layers of stuff here. Right there. Come back in here now with the funny because I'm finding this, I've never used this before. This is actually working better than a deep socket because it gives me more room to hang on to it. All right. And there we go. We now have our wind wing captured again. Yes, I did get it in the right direction. That's something I would be prone to do wrong. There we go, and that's what we have on the back. You see we didn't scratch our paint or anything else. But now we've got our wind wing captured again. And all that's left is to just repeat that process on the other side. And there we have it. And you didn't have to go out and buy new rivets, which are, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen them anywhere. They probably are, and some of you guys will know about that. But I haven't seen them. And why go to the time, effort, and expense when it's really this simple to just do this process and save the ones that are in there. Now, I guess there would be certain situations if you're trying for, if you got a valuable stove and you're trying for a full-blown, all-out 100% restoration on it, then yeah, maybe. But I don't have, most of the stuff that I'm doing doesn't fall into that category. So, especially these gold green stoves, which are the ones where you tend to find the rivets on. Anyway, that's the process. I don't know. I'll go ahead and do these so that you can see it again. Yeah, so you just got to be careful here. Remember, you just flip the lid around and top is now bottom. And so it'd be real easy to put this one in backwards, not thinking about it, and then you go, oh, shoot. But since I'm such a freaking genius, we won't let that happen. There we go. That in there. Now you notice that my tape on the back side, or on the front side, top side, actually really didn't need to come off yet. I'll actually do that as soon as I get these in place. I just really like this process because it really does put them back in there. If you're careful about unbending them in the first place, when you rebend them, it doesn't, I mean, they come right back into exactly the shape that they were to start with. Alrighty, there we go. And that, my friends, is how I do it. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert. A lot of guys out there that do a lot more of this stuff than I do and been doing it for many, many more years than I have. And there may be another way, but if you're a cheapskate like me, that's how I go about doing it. So I'm going to wrap this up here. That's just a little how-to video and my things I've learned about Coleman camp stoves and lanterns. So have fun. Hope that helps you with yours. Have a fun day, guys. Take care.